Imagine, after years and years of stacking, you have amassed quite a bit of gold and silver, such as represented in this image here. Would you consider trading all of your stack for one very valuable gold, silver, or base metal coin? I'm curious as to what your thoughts are. We're going to go through some of those coins in this video, and I'll let you know what I would do. So stick around as we explore. A lot of us spend a lot of time and money. And when you think about it, it's all about time. Time is valuable. That's something that certainly is inflation proof. There's no question about that. So when we spend our time working and earning an income, we take that and translate it from dollars or whatever currency from which you are paid. And most of these currencies, by the way, are losing value at a faster pace than they have in over 40 years. Folks, that's inflation. So we put our hard-earned, unsound money and just transfer it to sound money in the form of gold and silver, mostly, although platinum and palladium and rhodium even can be thrown into the mix if you want to diversify. But we're creating a stockpile of wealth, essentially. That's what stacking is. It is storing your wealth in sound money as recognized in the Bible and in the Constitution. But would you trade this for some of the coins that I'm going to show you here in a moment? You want to talk about putting all of your eggs in one basket. This could be it. And this is sort of an exercise of entertainment, just for fun type of video. But I think it'd be an intriguing possibility because some of these coins have maintained their value for quite a long time. They are historic coins, 9 of the most valuable coins in the world. And they're not all limited to museums and to wealthy private collectors. A couple of these might just turn up potentially in your couch cushions, although it's highly unlikely for some of these. But nonetheless, let's take a look at the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar. This coin may sit atop of the rankings of the most expensive coins ever sold. At least for now, some experts believe that it was the first silver dollar struck by the U.S. Mint. This very coin that you see in the image there, the very first silver dollar struck by the Mint. We see on the obverse a profile of Lady Liberty with flowing hair, while the reverse shows an American eagle. Fewer than 1,800 of these coins were ever produced, and one expert puts the number of remaining coins at between 120 to 130. So it's quite rare, and even as such, there are much rarer coins that actually sell for a whole lot less. Rarity does not necessarily equate to value. I actually posted a video on that very topic quite a number of years ago about what makes a coin valuable. And then the second coin, but before we get to that, this coin that's shown in this image sold at auction for just over $10 million in 2013. The number 2 coin is the 1787 Brasher doubloon. The Brasher doubloon was made by Ephraim Brasher, a New York goldsmith and silversmith in the late 18th century. The obverse of the coin shows a state seal with a rising sun, while the reverse shows the American eagle with a shield. The coin is already rare, but certainly versions of it have fetched a variety of prices depending on the specific characteristics. And sadly, this does not show the other side of the piece, but nonetheless, you get an idea. You probably have heard of it or seen it around. But a 2011 sale saw a version of the doubloon with the Brasher signature EB and the breast, right there it is, go for nearly $7.4 million. A 2018 private sale of another doubloon with a signature EB on the bird's wing went for more than $5 million, according to Coin World. A third auction in January of 2021 saw another Brasher doubloon hit $9.36 million. So you see the pattern here early on in this is that these rare, ultra rare coins appreciate in value. far above inflation, for sure. And then number 3, the 1787 Fugio cent. The Fugio cent hasn't set the kind of astronomical records as the first 2 coins on the list, but it can still be a pricey collectible. And it has an interesting history to it. The Fugio cent, also known as the Franklin cent, after founding father Benjamin Franklin, may have been the first coin circulated in the newly formed United States. In line with Franklin's humor, the coin shows a sun and sundial with the Latin motto Fugio, suggesting that the sun and time are flying. At the bottom, the coin says, "Mind your business," an invocation for the bearer to literally pay attention to their business affairs. That's right. It's not like a kind of a crass saying or a condensation. It is something that is really literal, to pay attention to your affairs. The reverse of the coin has the motto, "We are one," with 13 links in the chain to symbolize America's first 13 states. ZV suggests you could buy a Fugio cent for a few $100s, making it relatively accessible for a coin with such an interesting history. Coins in better condition may go for a few $1,000s, and perhaps as high as $10,000 with extremely rare variants that may sell for tens of thousands of dollars. So likely this coin is probably not going to be one that you would trade your whole stack for, but certainly the most pristine examples of this could fetch perhaps more than the worth of your entire stack, and likely would probably appreciate in value as well. Number 4 is the 723 Umayyad gold dinar. This coin is one of the most prized Islamic coins, and it was struck from gold mined in a location owned by the Caliph, in other words, the Caliphate. The coin bears the marking "Mine of the Commander of the Faithful," and it's the first Islamic coin to mention a location in Saudi Arabia. About a dozen examples of this coin are in existence, according to experts. In 2011, the coin fetched 3.7 million pounds, which is about $6 million US, at auction, the second most expensive ever sold at auction. In 2019, another version of the coin was sold for the same amount in pounds, but the dollar value came to about $4.8 million. So this is something that's kind of hard to come by. This hasn't necessarily appreciated in value, but it shows you the idea of currency devaluation over that same period. Number 5 is the 1343 Edward III florin. Another of the most expensive coins is an oldie and a goldie. The 1343 Edward III florin is just one of 3 such gold coins known to exist. That's right, a very rare coin indeed. 2 examples are housed in the British Museum in London, both of which were found in the River Tyne in 1857. The third coin was found by a prospector with a metal detector back in 2006. Can you imagine finding that coin? Wow. The obverse shows King Edward III on his throne with 2 leopards' heads on either side, while the reverse shows the royal cross inside of a quatrefoil. Because of its design, the coin is also known as the double leopard. The coin found in 2006 was sold at auction for 480,000 pounds, or about $850,000. Wow, a record at the time for a British coin. It is now estimated that the coin is valued at around $6.8 million. Yes, so it just goes to show you how much this coin has appreciated, well above inflation, no doubt. Number 6 is the 1943 Lincoln Head copper penny. Yeah, it looks like just a regular old wheat cent, right? But here's another coin that you just might find tucked inside a dresser drawer sometime. Highly, highly unlikely. And its conditions surrounding its production makes the 1943 Lincoln Head copper cent interesting and valuable. While pennies, and they really are called cents, not pennies, are normally made of copper nickel, the U.S. needed those metals for war efforts, so the mint started using steel to produce the coin, but it mistakenly struck a batch of them made of copper, potentially because blanks remained in the press when the mint began making new steel since. Experts estimated that around 40 of these exist, though some say fewer than 20 examples are still left around. The Mint says that these coins are frequently counterfeited because of the relative ease of coating steel pennies with copper and altering the date of the coin struck in 1945, 1948, and 1949. But to see if the coin is actually steel, you can see if it sticks to a magnet. While the regular 1943 Lincoln cent might fetch you 30 to 40 cents, again, about 30 to 40 times more than its face value, the special copper version fetched $204,000 at a 2019 auction. This specimen of the coin had been held by a man for some 70 years, since boyhood, after he found it at his school cafeteria. So, hey, there's a chance that could happen, and it happened for this gentleman. Man, amazing. And some of the value of our stacks, and you think about it, maybe $200,000 would be a pretty nice sizable stack. Would you trade for that coin? The record sales price for a version of this coin is $1.75 million in a 2010 auction, according to CoinWeek. Again, it just goes to show you how this coin, and especially in great condition, can fetch a whole lot of money. Now, here's something that's a nice stackable coin with some collector value. The 2007 $1 million Canadian gold maple leaf. Yes, this coin is a novelty coin, if there ever were one, and it tips the scales at weighing 100 kilos, essentially about 220 pounds. Only 6 of the nearly pure gold coins have ever been made as of December 2022, and each has a face value of $1 million, and they were used as a promotional showpiece for the Mint's 1-ounce gold maple leaf coins. In October 2007, the Guinness Book of World Records certified that the coin is the world's largest gold coin. The coin's obverse shows Queen Elizabeth II, while the reverse shows a Canadian maple leaf. The coin is 50 centimeters, about 20 inches wide, and just over an inch thick. The coin was sold at auction in 2010 for 3.27 million euros, or about $4 million at the time. One of the coins was stolen from a Berlin museum. 3 men were convicted of the crime and sentenced to years in prison, but the coin was never recovered. I actually covered that story in my channel. Then we have the 1913 Liberty Head V nickel. The coin was not quite as old as some of the lists, but that doesn't stop it from being among the most valuable. I actually saw this coin at a coin show, but the U.S. Mint struck the Liberty V nickel from 1883 to 1913, but just a reputed 5 coins were minted in the final year's vintage. Since the year 2000, specimens of the coin have hit the auction block a handful of times and fetched multiple millions of dollars. One version reportedly sold for $4.15 million in 2005 and was flipped for $5 million in 2007. Another specimen at $3.7 million in 2010. Still another trades at $4.56 million in 2018. Then Great Collections acquired one of the coins for $4.2 million in 2022. If you can't find enough nickels to buy one yourself, you might be able to see if they're hanging around, and you can see them at the Smithsonian Institution. I've seen them. Morgan silver dollars. Now, these are quasi-stackable and collectible. Morgan silver dollars aren't especially rare in and of themselves, but some of the rare vintages can fetch seriously high prices. Even if you don't have one of the obscure versions, Morgan is just a beautiful item with a solid feel, a well-balanced coin that is 90% silver. And so some of the rare examples of them that fetch a lot of money are the 1893S, the 1901, the 1889 CC, 1884S, and the 1893 Morgan. Each of these could bring in more than $100,000 to as much as $500,000 if it's in mint condition. So there you go. That's what the coins. Would you consider trading your stack for any one of these valuable coins? I'd be very curious to know in the comments below, but there's some example of what's out there. And also, what would I do? Would I consider doing it? Well, the answer is a big fat no. Why? Because I am a collector myself, and I don't just collect for the value of coins. I collect for the beauty of them. And some of my stack is just that. Some of my stack makes up, coins and bars or rounds that are essentially worth nothing but spot, but they're very beautiful. To just have one coin to look at, which I'd be very nervous about getting out and looking at, afraid I might drop it even if it's in a slab, I just would pass on it. But let me know what your thoughts are. I hope you found this video insightful, educational, informative, and entertaining. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.